and Gabe can correct me maybe if I get it wrong, because I was kind of lost in my own heart. But love gave it all just to be with you. You know, and that's what you want to be thinking about the gospel. And that's the only thing you want to be thinking about the gospel. You don't want to be thinking about what you need to do. You don't want to be thinking about how you need to do it. You don't want to be thinking about how you're going to serve God, about how you're going to build the kingdom, about how you got to go ye, about how you got to do all that. You want your mind to be filled with love gave it all just to be with you. And it's a very simple statement, and it's a very, it seems like there's not much to be dissected there. But if you could just spend your time thinking on that statement and what it means, that love gave it all just to be with you, and then engage God about that statement. What does that mean? What is the magnitude of that statement, that love gave it all just to be with you? Because if you can wrap your heart around that, if you can begin to see that going on, see what's going on there, and that'll change your life. It will fill your soul with the revelation of your worth to God, right? Forget about your worth to anyone else. In fact, you stop caring about your worth to other people when you realize that God saw so much value in you that He came and let Himself be nailed to a cross just to redeem you back from death so that you could live eternally with Him and He could love on you for the rest of your life and for the rest of His life. The thing is, God didn't just want a friend for 100 years. He wanted a friend for as long as He was going to be alive, and He's never going to die. And so the thing is, He wanted you to be His friend, but you were dying. I don't know if any of us noticed, but all of us and everybody we know at some point has perished and ended up in the grave. And so God didn't want that. He found so much value in you. When He looked all over for somebody that could be His friend, He saw so much value in you being His friend that He emptied Himself on the cross to absorb our death into Himself so that He could blow it up from the inside out with His light in His life, and that you could live eternally with Him. Not so you can serve Him, not so you can worship Him, not so you can work out in the field, but so He could serve you with His life for all eternity. And if you want to know what that looks like, Jesus is God, and He came into the earth, and He washed the disciples' feet. And He said, I didn't come to be served, I came to serve. And we got this idea of God that's different than Jesus. But Jesus is God. And so God doesn't need you to serve Him. He wants to serve you. He doesn't need you to pour yourself out for Him. He wants to pour Himself out for you. And it's not a grievous thing for Him. It's His good pleasure to empty Himself for you. And just to be with you. You ever notice when you think somebody has an agenda, you pick up on it real quick? And not only do you pick up on it real quick, you don't really want nothing to do with that thing. The gospel's been kind of presented in a way as if God's got some kind of agenda. As if He wants to use you, right? Use you up. Listen, that doesn't work in human relationships. How do we think it's going to work with God? And so, man, we need to have this concept of God having an agenda in the sense of Him wanting to use us, stripped from us. If you want to say He's got an agenda, His only agenda is He wants you to live eternally so He can wash your feet and love on you for all your days. All His days. He missed you when you're gone. He feels as if something just isn't right when you're not there. That's why He did it. I mean, I'm happy you guys are here, man, because I got this passion in my heart to preach the gospel. And, man, I don't want to preach it to just the ground. And so I'm happy you're here, man. But listen, God's not got some agenda where He's trying to get you into a building so He can be happy with you. He just wants to speak to you this word of life, so that you could find life born in you, and you could find your life overcoming the grave, and you can spend all your days walking with Him in the cool of the day, where the houses are already built, and the trees are already planted, and the vineyards are already blooming fruit, and you ain't got to be in there working it. He worked it. Adam wasn't created to walk in his own works. He was created to walk in the work that God already did. That's why God rested. Because everything was already done. He didn't need Adam to come and do something. All he needed was for Adam to see that God already did everything. Let me lay on this hammock here and think about how awesome it is what God's done. And then God will come and we'll walk together and talk about the beauty of all this, man. Hallelujah. Now that'll make you happy.